So I'm just the idiotic, stupid dog. But, I was watching some Dr. Fauci stuff, and I was always a big proponent of Dr. Fauci, because I thought Dr. Fauci, he had the best interest of, the nation. And part of how they screwed over with Dr. Fauci, they forced him into defending everything, and they should have let him have a little bit more leeway. They should have followed him a little bit more gently and not always been so contradictive or threatening, because they backed him up against the wall. And if he had to defend everything, of course he became more, what you say, stridently, whatever you would say, protective or, careful. He wasn't wanting to take too many risks. And it turns out, in a crazy sense, that probably Dr. Fauci, he did a good job. I don't want to say he didn't do a good job, but he was probably wrong about a significant amount of stuff. And probably maybe not wrong is the right word, but he didn't really hit the nail on the head. He might have been half right. He might have had a few glancing blows. I'm sure it was a learning process. Who knew, And I'm sure a lot of the things we did, it helped, get through the tough times and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure, and who would have known Donald Trump was probably more right. I never thought those words would come out of my mouth. I don't mind Donald Trump's economy, but Donald Trump's fascist appeal to me, wants. I'm not much of a fascist. I don't enjoy the fascism type of stuff. So who would want to give Donald Trump credit? But it turns out Donald Trump, God bless us, he was more right than we figured at the time. He should have tempered it. If Donald could have come across a lot more gentle and kind, he could have been, a little bit, he could have led us a little bit better. And we wouldn't have, again, Donald kind of backed people who were concerned in the corner. He denied it like it didn't exist. Well, you're going to be afraid of this guy. He's the boogeyman of coronavirus. Ron DeSantis is kind of the same way, of the same like, as the Donald would used to say anyways. So anyway, the thing about it is, who could have told way back then that it would have turned out that Dr. Fauci probably, he did a good job. He was the best guy we had. It's like if you have a crappy football team and your quarterback's like maybe the 5th worst in the league. You're like, hey, it's my quarterback. It's all I got. What do you want me to do? Put the second stringer in there? He's worse yet. Come on. What do you want me to do? Run the Wildcat all day? It's the only guy I got. So you play him. So Dr. Fauci was the only one we had. So we played him. And hey, we won 3 or 4 or 5 ball games. So hey, you got to be, we lost a lot, but we won some. We won a few significant upsets. We had a few signature wins. And then Donald, on the other hand, Donald's like forcing you back and to be defensive, because you're like, oh my God, buddy, some of it's got to be real. It cannot all be fake news. The people are dropping over like whatever you would say, like hermit crabs in autumn drought. Come on, give me a break. So anyways, it's just, to me, it's perplexing that you would find out that Dr. Fauci, who you trusted so much and you thought a lot of good things about, he gave me some confidence. It turns out, he was blundering around in the dark a little bit more than we realized at the time. And Donald, though he was just trying to save his own ass, he could have cared less about the country. It turns out that unbeknownst to himself, he was just lying, but unbeknownst to himself, he turns out to probably have been a little bit more correct about things than you ever would have guessed. So it's funny, it's ironic, it's a twist of fate, but whatever, it's okay, it doesn't matter.